He will avenge us.
Maul's death was one of the saddest deaths we've seen in all of Star Wars. Arguably, of course. This video is going to be the first of a two-part video series, along with going into a bigger series later on. This is going to start at the end, where Maul passes away. The next one's going to be the breakdown of the fight between Obi-Wan and Maul. But what makes this scene so sad, such a sad death in Star Wars? The death of Maul, an enemy of Obi-Wan Kenobi, a villain if you prefer, or an anti-hero as I like to think of him as becoming throughout his character arc. Welcome back everyone, I'm Gerald and I'm a Star Wars fanatic, and you can be a Star Wars fanatic too. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Subscribing is absolutely free. We may not agree on every topic that I talk about, but we do agree on one thing. We love Star Wars. Okay, with that said, let's get on with today's topic. If you've only seen The Phantom Menace, I recommend Star Wars Rebels and The Clone Wars, because you think Maul died at the end of The Phantom Menace, and that's just not true. Darth Maul lived on. He no longer called himself Darth because he wasn't a Sith apprentice anymore, but he lived on a almost full life up until right before A New Hope. In fact, Maul's character arc was so good that you didn't really feel him to be a villain anymore. He became more of an anti-hero, kind of like Boba Fett, only on a larger scale with more personality during the Clone Wars. He had emotion, he had feeling, he had reason for doing what he was doing. And a lot of it was exacting revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi, or trying to get revenge on Darth Sidious for dumping him as an apprentice. But most of it was about Obi-Wan Kenobi. So in this moment, just before A New Hope, we see Darth Maul find Obi-Wan Kenobi on the sands of Tatooine in the desert, hiding, watching over Luke. And it's that time. It's time for his revenge. It's time to end this conflict that's been going on for decades now. And now that he's found Obi-Wan Kenobi, his revenge can be complete. He can move on to the next step, the step of taking down Sidious. He's fought Obi-Wan Kenobi in the past, and in the first fight during the Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan Kenobi beats Maul. But then during the Clone Wars, Maul beats Kenobi. He even takes Kenobi prisoner on a couple of occasions and kills Kenobi's girlfriend. But this is the moment that Darth Maul, or Maul by now, sees it as a time to end this conflict, a time to end this hate that's going on inside him, because as long as Obi-Wan Kenobi lives, Maul can't survive. He can't move forward. He can't focus enough on the bigger task at hand, which is taking down Sidious. So they clash. Obi-Wan changes his form to the one that Qui-Gon Jinn used and tricks Maul into trying the same move he tried on Qui-Gon. And instead, Obi-Wan makes short work of him. And it's in this moment where Maul lay in Obi-Wan's arms that we see the pity that Obi-Wan has for him. And when Maul dies, Obi-Wan closes his eyes and holds on to him. A fellow Force sensitive has died in the arms of Obi-Wan Kenobi. A brother in the Force, if you will. All of Maul's hopes, dreams, goals, decisions, everything has led him to this moment, and now they were gone. Anything Maul could have said or done to Obi-Wan Kenobi is now in the past. It would never come up again. And Obi-Wan wonders what could have been if this man wasn't taken in by a Sith Lord, if this Force-sensitive creature could have been taken into the Jedi Order. Would we have been friends? Would my master had been the one to teach him instead of me? Another child of the Force has now joined the Force while laying in my arms. This is such a beautiful scene. I know a lot of people don't like it. They think that the fight went too quickly or whatever, but this video isn't about that fight. This video is about that moment that Maul passes and Obi-Wan closes his eyes, closing a chapter on his own life, closing another chapter of the Clone Wars, just one more thing, detaching him from the Clone Wars, moving him forward into what's to become the Luke Skywalker story, rather than the Anakin Skywalker story. He feels that as long as there are connections between him and the Clone Wars, that he can never let that part of his life go, that he can't move forward. But here it is. Maul dies in his arms. Another connection dies from Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars. Maul's hopes, dreams, goals, everything he's ever said are gone. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is still alive to carry on. Maul's chaos has ended. Now, like I said before, if you've only seen The Phantom Menace with Maul in it, or maybe Solo, a Star Wars story, then you don't understand how profound this death scene is. You're thinking, okay, good, he's gone. It's finally time. I didn't know he was still alive, but okay, cool. Now we know he's gone. It's not like that. Maul had a complicated story. He had a very grandiose story. It was huge. He became the leader of the Mandalorian people. When he was found by his brother, he was insane, and he had these spider legs, and he was eating people, and this worm guy was feeding people to Maul. But his brother, Savage, found him, brought him back to his tribe, where he was healed and given new robot legs. He had even captured Obi-Wan Kenobi on a couple occasions, and one time he killed Obi-Wan Kenobi's former love interest, Satine Kryze, Duchess of the Mandalorian people, and older sister to Bo-Katan Kryze, who we all know from The Mandalorian. But Maul didn't just create harm. He didn't do more harm. Well, yes, he did more harm than good, but he also did a little bit of good. During Season 7 of the Clone Wars, when Order 66 happens, Ahsoka has Maul captured in a containment unit made by Mandalorians to hold Force sensitives. Well, on the Republic cruiser, Order 66 happens and Ahsoka becomes hunted by Rex, Jesse, and the rest of the 501st that have joined her in capturing Maul. So Ahsoka has no choice but to go to Maul, release him, and tell him to go create chaos, create a distraction so I can get out of here. I'm not pulling for you to win, but if you win, cool, I'm gone. Maul had even tried to recruit Ahsoka just before this, and she almost joined him in trying to take down the Emperor, or Senator Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine, whatever you prefer to call him at this point. She almost joined him until he told her why Anakin Skywalker was so important. In that moment, she didn't believe him. They battled. She captured him. Then she released him. He created chaos. She escaped Order 66. Later, in Rebels, Darth Maul shows up again, or Maul at this point. He befriends Ezra Bridger, tries to teach him about the dark side. Maul joins Ezra and Kanan on some quest to get a Sith holocron, yet Maul backstabs Kanan, almost kills him. So Maul's complicated. He's really complicated. Sometimes you'll see him doing good and you're like, okay, this guy's turning around, he's gonna be a good guy, and then he does something like blind Kanan with his lightsaber while trying to kill him, shoots Kanan out of an airlock to try to kill him again. But at the same time, he's befriending Ezra and he's being nice to Ahsoka, and I think he's being nice to Ahsoka because Ahsoka had spared his life and let him go. But he's always been bent on that revenge against Obi-Wan Kenobi, not just for taking his legs away from him, but for taking his apprenticeship away from Sidious. Had Obi-Wan Kenobi not beaten Darth Maul on Naboo, Darth Maul would have continued to be Sidious' apprentice, and Darth Maul would have been right by his side, ruling the galaxy. Obi-Wan Kenobi was the reason that didn't happen. So first revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi, then revenge on Sidious. After Sidious knew Maul was still alive, he still discarded him, captured him, electrified him, and held him in the Citadel. Now, there were reports that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was going to feature Maul as the original big bad during the original story writing process, but Deborah Chow has since debunked that and said no, he was never considered the big bad. It's always going to be Darth Vader, which makes more sense, but would we like to see more Maul in live action? Yes, of course, and I think that could happen during the Lando series, if that ever makes the light of day, or during a Han Solo sequel, which could be in the form of a movie or in the form of series. I know there's a lot of people out there with the hashtag Make Solo 2 happen. I don't know that it's going to happen. Sorry guys, but it could happen as a series and not a movie, and it could happen as a group of series, not just one series, like a Lando series, a Maul series, or anything. Anything's possible at this point, and we see Disney is developing, or Lucasfilm rather, is developing a lot of stories right now, and hopefully during Star Wars Celebration we get more announcements as to what's going on with these stories. And hopefully at least one of those stories is going to continue a live action Maul. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. I really want to hear from you. And I'm going to go back to taking one comment and highlighting it into my next video. So don't forget to leave those comments. They are read and they are appreciated. Sometimes if I get the same comment over and over and over, I'll just pin one of my own comments answering all of those. So make sure you check the pinned comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Turn on all your notifications to stay up to date on all my Star Wars content. Thank you for watching. This is Gerald from Star Wars Fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health and happiness. And remember, this is the way, the only way.